Okay, so in the second part of this video series, we're going to set about creating our tags and our description for the video. The video is already uploaded. It is sitting over here and waiting for us to come along and put those things in. I'll also talk a little bit when we get there about how to create a title that is helpful. Now, I mentioned at the end of last video that I use a piece of software to help me create these tags and this description. It's really invaluable for the tags, but you might find that you don't need it for descriptions over time as you build up your practice. Tags for me are something that it's almost always hard to think of a total of about 400 characters, sometimes as many as 500 characters worth of tags. So that can be a bit of a struggle. But description, I've basically laid out for you the 4 components that I put in any good description for a video, and I think you'll get used to those over time. Before long, you'll it'll just be second nature. You may even find that you can determine a method that works even better than mine. But essentially, what I do is I always begin. I don't always begin, but if I have a monetization method in place, I begin with a URL that links back to my money site. Generally, at that money site, I have an embed of that video that then links back to my YouTube channel. Um, I, I hit enter after that and enter a fairly concise intro. I generally will give the important, who, what, why, where, when type stuff. Uh, if it's a part of a series of videos, it's a good time to say what part it is and provide a little bit of perspective about where it fits in the mix in terms of not just the number it is in the series, but what it shares compared to the other videos in the series. I do a warm-up, and that warm-up is basically I recap the meat of what I have shared in the video itself and try to build a little bit of excitement for what's going to be the call to action. The call to action it can be as simple as asking people to subscribe to the YouTube channel, maybe visit my websites. I have so many different websites, but there's always a website that you can send somebody to where they can learn a little bit more about you, find out how they might be able to engage and sort of open up a way for you to monetize your work. But anyway, let's get to this piece of software. It is called TubeRankJeet. I'm going to drag this down a little bit so that you can see it. See that? TubeRankJeet. It's created by a guy named Cyril Gupta, who you can find him on Facebook, but I think you can also go to TubeRankJeet.com and you can check out the software. It's incredibly inexpensive, and I think when I show you the features that I rely on, you're probably going to want your own copy. Let's start with the part that I do first, and that is creating the tags. He's got a really ingenious way to do this, and I'm going to start off by typing in my main keyword. And in this case, I'd like to compete if somebody types in anxiety and depression. Now, it's going to analyze the top videos that are out there, and it allows you to go up to 20. So I'm going to click go, and I'm going to let it analyze the top 20 videos. You get 2 tabs. One is the competition, so that you can take a look at the videos themselves. You can scroll down and you can see it'll give you some indication of how difficult it would be to rank number 1, or how difficult it would be just to finish in the top 20. As you can see, it's almost impossible to be super high in this for this keyword. and by the same token, it shouldn't be too hard, at least over a reasonable period of time, to wind up in the top 20. Top 20 doesn't mean much to me. I really want to wind up in the top 5, or at least the top 10. You get the number of thumbs up, the average number of thumbs up, thumbs down, the average number of views, and the average number of comments for these top 20 videos. You can tell just based on the average number of comments that this is a keyword that generates a lot of interest. So ranking for it may be tough, but the good news is that I'm not going to lose any sleep if this video doesn't rank highly in YouTube, because even though I've used it for this example, ultimately it's to anchor my website and to create engagement there, as I talked about in video number 1. But we're going to do our best. So let's go back up to the top. We're going to go to the Analysis tab. Now what's cool about this software is it allows you to put in things like video title, video description, and the tags, which we're going to talk about in a second, and get a score. It will analyze it, and it will give you pointers underneath of this about what you're lacking and what you can improve on. It's invaluable actually for high rankings, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mess around with tags. See all the tags that it has grabbed? It has the ability to go into these top 20 videos and ferret out what tags they've used. So basically, since you know that these videos already rank pretty highly, you just want to cherry pick the best tags and use those for yours. So, we'll go and use high competition tags like anxiety and depression, relaxation. Let's go with relaxing. Go with healing and disorder, mental stress. Go with medication, psychotherapy, psychology. Let's check how many characters we have. It keeps track. It'll allow you to go up to 500, and we're at 115, which is a pretty good start. Obviously, we want anxiety and depression. I like to get some variants too: anxiety and depression treatment, anxiety and depression disorder. Let's go with natural calm. Panic attacks, awesome one. Look for things that, if you're familiar, I'm not overly familiar with anxiety and depression, except for the fact that I was able to get a good deal buying this site. I think I got it for like $10, and I knew I'd be able to monetize it. So I've learned some things along the way. Exercise, fits, go with health, we'll go with wellness. Let's look at some of these long tail tags down here. Like social anxiety looks good. PTSD might be good. Anxiety disorder, depressive disorder. Better go up and check where we stand. 324 out of 500. So I want to keep going. I know this part might seem a little bit boring to you, but you will be surprised at what a difference it will make. Here we go. Hypnosis for depression. You never know where something like that might pay off. Some of these will turn out to be complete and total duds. Some will turn out to be really helpful, and you probably won't know as you're doing it which ones will pay off, but you'll get into a rhythm before it's over with. Let's see where we sit. We got to be getting close. Yep, look at us. We actually might be. Let's chop it back by like 1. Okay, so we got 450 out of 500. I would say that's a pretty good start. I'm going to close this video out here at the 10-minute mark, and I'll come back and we'll do the description.